Hi everybody, we're back after next day. This post-feeding discussion. Just laying there, digesting his meal. I wanted to talk more about folic acid and bone marrow. The main difference, well, there's another discussion about folate. People will claim that folate is better than folic acid, and that's true. The main difference between the two is folate is organic to where folic acid is a synthetic. So in that Boa Miracle supplement, he's getting folic acid because I'm pretty sure, well, that's what it's listed as, and so I'm pretty sure that Boa Miracle supplement is based on synthetics. Isn't that right, buddy? Oh yeah, he knows the door is opening. Maybe he's going to go down a little bit with the door open. Just checking on you. Say hi to everybody. Yes, guinea pigs require vitamin C and folic acid or folate, depending if you feed them organic pellets or organic food or pellets. The folic acid will be in the guinea pig pellets. But either way, people will complain about folate being superior because it's organic, and I can see their point, but still, either way, it's very good for their bone marrow. And these animals have a much higher tolerance for supplements and vitamins and antibiotics. To give you an example, Baytril back in the day was used quite commonly in these animals for respiratory infections, to where Baytril in humans is toxic. Your body can't handle Baytril to where their bodies can. Should I take a chance and touch you? Yeah, you're awake now, aren't you? He's just hanging out, lounging. He doesn't want to be pestered too much. And I'm very happy because it only took 9 months for him to start to constrict his food again for the first time last night. Very proud of you. It wasn't until I upped his dosages and gave him the tablets that have 240 megagrams effective of hydroxytyrosol and the oloripine, to where it's been about 6 weeks now. About his third feeding, and now he's starting to constrict his food again. On top of the folic acid. And he's very active. Not right at the moment, but he'll come in here and he'll be climbing all over the place, hanging from his board or in his water, swimming around. He's having a good old time. But how I had his dosages figured, it takes about 40 megagrams per kilogram of weight on a reptile. So that equaled out to 240 megagrams of effectiveness is good for about 15.5 or 6 pounds. And he's 16.6 pounds, so he could definitely handle 240 megagrams of hydroxytyrosol and the oloripine. And for smaller snakes, then you would have to get a jeweler's scale you can get off Amazon and break the tablet open and weigh it and weigh out. Say if your snake only weighs 1 kilogram, then you'd only want to give them 40 megagrams of the tablet. The capsule, and you'd have to break the capsule open and sort it out. That way, it'd be kind of a pain in the rear end. But or you can buy the pure stuff off of Pro Health, but that stuff's like $100 a bottle. For the pure 100%, would take all the guesswork out. You just chop it up and give it to their food that way. Talking about if you don't want to have the rice flour substrate mixed in with it, you just want to get the pure stuff. It'll be more expensive. They advertise that stuff I take is 500 milligrams, but it's actually only 240 megagrams effectiveness. Yes, we're just looking at you. You don't want to be pestered. You just want to sit back and sleep your meal off. it comes to viruses and infections, you can either use folate or folic acid, either or. It's all about the bone marrow, where the red and white blood cells are going to come from. You want healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen to the organs, and white blood cells to keep viruses in check. And I said this before in other videos, and I'll say it again just in case people haven't caught that yes, all these animals are born with viruses. They evolved from viruses. Science calls them retroviruses because there's so many of them. They can't see the viruses until they become infected, say with the inclusion body disease, and then all these other viruses start to unravel, and they can actually start to see what's part of the animal's viral reservoir. And that's what they're studying, is the different types of viruses that they're finding. In the past couple of years, it's scaring them to death because they believe that these retroviruses are zoonotic in nature, and somehow that these viruses can infect people, or that the possibility could be there. It's still listed as unknown. And because of the COVID-19 pandemic and nidovirus and ball pythons, the virus is so scaringly similar that they believe that nidovirus is a mutated version, mutated and became COVID-19 and started infecting people. That's why they started adding amendments to the Lacey Act. You know, it's the timing of everything. After this pandemic, then all of a sudden they want to label all this, make amendments to the Lacey Act, making it illegal for these animals to go across state lines. Everything from fish, because they found the arenavirus in fish already. All vertebrates that are not domesticated, they want banned from crossing state lines because of the viruses they carry. And they're afraid that that will be the next global pandemic. Of course, you say, well, why now? If we had these animals for all these years in captivity, it certainly would have happened by now. Well, that's true. However, everybody now is on a GMO-based diet, and everyone's immune systems are a lot weaker today than they were, say, 30 years ago. Do I think that this animal can give me a retrovirus? And I doubt it. But that's the bureaucracy behind it all, unfortunately. It hasn't passed as far as I know. I don't think it will, because they're going to have a hell of a time proving that nidovirus is actually COVID-19 in a person, even though the viruses are very, very similar. Because that was the story. It came from China, from snakes in China or whatever. But I just have my own different opinions on that, and I'll just keep those quiet. Alright, buddy? That's my granddaughter wanting to interrupt me. She's fascinated. This is her dinosaurs. She's only 7 years old. She's fascinated by them. Well, buddy, you have a good day. I'll check on you later. Enjoying your little mist coming down. And that's another thing. I use spring water in these humidifiers, and I bring it to a rolling boil. Then I put it just to burn off any excess calcium that could gum up the humidifiers. Bring it to a rolling boil for about 15 minutes. Let it cool off, then I rebottle it and put it in his humidifiers. That way, distilled water just doesn't do a really good job of keeping them hydrated. It'll keep the humidity up, but if you think about it, I don't think it does a really good job at keeping them hydrated, their skin and everything. So I switched over to just spring water, and I just boil it off and rebottle it, and I just think that's just a lot more healthier for them. Yes, but these animals can tolerate a bit more fluoric acid than a human can, that's for sure. And he doesn't get it every week or every 2 weeks. He'll get his guinea pig, and then he'll get just regular quail now with some hydroxytyrosol and loripine in with it. Then I'll go back to the guinea pig again. Ever since I gave him those tablets, he can now constrict once again, which is great. That's all I have for now. Humidity's going down a little bit. And we'll leave you alone, let you lay there and get some rest. I did file this down with a file and it's not sharp at all. Just in case anyone's wondering. Cut them out with tin snips and take a file and file it all down. Alright buddy, I'll leave you alone. Yeah. He's so cute.